Good morning. I'm Stefanie Sieberts from Europe. I would like to thank Susan Antler to invite me to the Organics Recycling Conference in Canada. And today I want to represent Europe's perspectives on bio-waste management and compost use. First, I would like to start to introduce to you the ECN, the European Compost Network. The European Compost Network is the leading European organization promoting organic recycling practices like composting and anaerobic digestion to produce high quality compost and digestate, which can be used on soils and to keep our soils healthy. Our vision is to live well within the limited resources of the planet and to respect the organic cycle. In our network, we try to work together with our national members, with our national organizations. So we have different working groups and task groups. We also want to take care about the environment, and we also want to give simple solutions to use our products. Our main pillars are quality assurance, because we only want to produce high quality products which can be placed on the market, and therefore we have set up in ECN as well a European quality assurance scheme for compost and digestate. And we also want to get confidence by the consumer in our waste-derived products. Our second pillar is to give also advices to the policymakers on European level and to provide also policy advices on national level and on regional level. We want to implement markets for our products for compost and digestate, and we follow as well research and technologies developments. Circularity and sustainable is at the heart of everything we do. Today, we represent 66 members from 28 European countries. These are mainly national organization of compost and biogas production. And in total, these national members represent more than 4,500 composting and anaerobic digestion plants, treating more than 48 million tons of biowaste. That biowaste plays a key role in the circular economy is clear, because up to 60% of municipal solid waste is biowaste. So this is a main waste stream of municipal waste. And to do high quality recycling, we have to do separate collection of biowaste to also have the possibility to recycle the other waste materials which left over in the municipal waste. But especially when we want to produce high quality compost and digestate, separate collection is a key. And also based on the policy issues, the European Commission has introduced over the last 5 years a lot of initiatives and strategies which really promote the use of biowaste in circular economy. I only want to mention that end of 2020, the European Commission has published the European Green Deal, which includes several strategies like the bioeconomy strategy, the biodiversity strategy, the farm-to-fork strategy, the salt strategy, and also focused further on the revision of the Waste Framework Directive and the several pollution action plan. The overall goal is to become carbon neutral by 2025, and therefore the Commission has also introduced a climate law to reduce greenhouse gas emission and to promote as well to do carbon sequestration. So they are also looking how can the greenhouse gas emissions stored in natural things like soil. In addition to this, which is also very important for us, is the new upcoming farm-to-fork strategy, where the Commission sets as well targets for reducing mineral fertilizers and pesticides and to increase as well organic farming practices. This is also in parallel put up in the biodiversity strategy, where also the organic farming practices should be increased, but in addition, 30% of the European land should be stored under natural conditions. That is especially important for wetlands and for peatlands. On the right side, you see the Circular Economy Action Plan with several initiatives which have been passed in the last 2 years, and the Commission is still working to set up a harmonized model for separate collection and for labeling of waste across Europe. So we have in the European Union 27 European member states, and they want to have facilitate separate collection of all the different waste streams in Europe. And the Commission is also working to set up a regulatory framework for certification of carbon removals. But coming now back to the role of biowaste in the European Green Deal and the circular economy, for us, the most important regulatory initiatives are the Waste Framework Directive and the Landfill Directive, where an overall recycling target for municipal waste was set. So we have to set, all member states have to achieve a recycling target of 65% of municipal waste by 2035, which is very, very ambitious. And to achieve this recycling targets, member states have to recycle as well biowaste because, as I mentioned before, this is the main fraction in municipal waste. As I mentioned before, up to 60% biowaste can be accounted in municipal waste. In average, it's 34%. So this is 1/3 of the whole municipal waste which is produced in Europe. And therefore, the Commission has introduced that separate collection has to become obligatory or separated at source by the end of 2023 in all European countries. In addition to this, the Commission has set a further target. They have put in that from 2027, that municipal waste, which is treated in mechanical biological treatment plants, which is not sorted, so mixed waste, will not be accounted anymore as a recycling option. So incineration, mechanical biological treatment, and landfilling are no recycling options, so they do not contribute to the recycling target. So it must be clear that high quality recycling is the goal in Europe in future. In addition to the Waste Framework Directive, the Commission has also revised the Landfill Directive, and by 2035, only 10% of municipal solid waste is allowed to be landfilled in the European countries. In several countries, we have still a landfill ban, but we have a lot of countries which are still relying on landfilling. But we do not only want to do separate collection, we do separate collection to do high quality recycling, to produce products, and we also want to place these products on the market. And therefore, we are also very happy that the European Commission has also launched the fertilizer product regulation on European level in 2022, where for the first time organic fertilizers, soil improvers, and growing media are regulated as well. So far, only mineral fertilizers and liming materials were regulated under the European fertilizer regulation. But in future, we have also the possibility to place our products, compost and digestate, on a European market. Because in this new fertilizer product regulation, the Commission has set for the first time harmonized end-of-waste criteria for compost and digestate. As biowaste from kitchen waste is an animal byproduct, this is also related to the European animal byproduct regulation, where specific treatment criteria are required to hygienize these materials. So this is related as well to the fertilizer regulation, that the treatment conditions are also laid down or has to be in line with the animal byproduct regulation. These are the main regulations in Europe we have to fulfill to place our products on the European market. Now the Commission has also come up with, or is considering to set up a new soil health law in 2023. We know that 60 to 70% of soil ecosystems in the EU are unhealthy and suffering from continuing degradation. 12.7% of European soils are affected by moderate and high erosion. And the Commission is considering that soil should be under a healthy condition by 2050. And therefore, they are now coming up with a new soil health law. We expect it in the first quarter of 2023. There, the Commission is considering to set soil health indicators and as well to perhaps to introduce as well a soil health certificate. In addition to the soil health law, as I mentioned before, is a biodiversity strategy, which also set a target that 30% of lands should be stored under natural conditions. Besides these initiatives, we have the farm to fork strategy and the sustainable carbon cycle strategies, which are also contributing to support the management of biowaste. As the Commission is working as well on an integrated nutrient management action plan under the farm to fork strategy, with the aim to reduce nutrient losses on agricultural land without losing soil fertility. So at least 50% of nutrient losses should be reduced. And I think there our products plays an important role like compost, because we can provide nutrients which are bound to the organic matter and which do not cause us any environmental problems, because they are stored in the organic matter. The Commission had set the target to reduce the fertilizer use in total with 20%, and they would like to come up as well with to implement organic farming practices, which will then fall under the carbon removal schemes. To give an update, what is the situation on biowaste management in Europe? We have also produced a new data report in 2022 with of Jane Gilbert. You will have heard her presentation as well today. We have done this comprehensive survey together with our members. We have asked to give the figures on biowaste plants, on composting, anaerobic digestion plants, the amount of separately collected biowaste, but we have also taken into account the data we receive from the European Environmental Agency and from the official statistics of the European Commission of Eurostat on waste management. Based on all these figures, we were able to calculate the amount of the potential available biowaste and the treated amount of biowaste at the moment, how many facilities are there, and how many facilities have to be built up in future to manage the increasing amount of biowaste which will be on the market when the separate collection will be introduced by the end of 2023 in the member states. But the main focus of this report is what the impact is of the biowaste management for job creation, for employment, for the markets, and also for the soil. So here are some results. So today, as you can see, we have differentiated between the European Union countries, the 27 countries. In addition to the 27 countries, we have also taken into account Switzerland, Norway, and UK. So in total, we have at the moment 5,800 composting and anaerobic digestion plants in Europe. And as you can see, the majority of plants are composting plants, 3,800 and 2,000 anaerobic digestion plants. When we look to job creation, we know for treating 4,200 tons of biowaste, we need employees in a composting plant. But in anaerobic digestion plant, we can treat more, 5,300 tons of biowaste with one employee. That means by building up composting plants, we will also create more jobs. At the moment, we calculate around 11,000 to 18,000 full-time employees in the composting sector and 2,000 to 5,500 employees in the anaerobic digestion sector treating biowaste. So I really want to stress that we are here focusing on the figures on biowaste and not on sewage sludge or on agricultural residues or other materials. Concerning the amount of biowaste which is recycled, you can see here as well the comparison between biowaste which goes into composting and biowaste which goes into anaerobic digestion. In total, 42 million tons of biowaste are recycled in composting plants, 29 million tons are recycled in anaerobic digestion plants. In total, we recycle 71 million tons of biowaste in Europe. Out of these 71 million tons of biowaste, 21 million tons of compost are produced. So if we want to apply this compost on land with 10 tons fresh matter per hectare, we will cover a surface area of 2.1 million hectare in Europe. This is around 2% of the arable land in Europe. But if we only use this compost to improve soils which are forced by moderate or severely eroded erosion, then we can cover 16% of this eroded agricultural land. But in addition to the soil improvement, we can also sequester carbon, and we can contribute to mitigate climate change, because with this amount of compost we can sequester 1.2 million tons of CO2 equivalents in soils, which is comparable to 13 million tons of tree seedlings grown for 10 years. So this is a huge amount which we save on greenhouse gases in Europe by producing this amount of compost. Looking to the input material for composting and anaerobic digestion, we have also compared here the different materials, and you can clearly see that for composting, the main input material are green waste, food waste, and also commingled garden and food waste, which are collected together. So 76% of these materials go are the main fractions for composting plants. When we look to anaerobic digestion, we see a difference. The main fraction is food waste and other materials, so crop residues or agricultural feedstuffs, and also food and drink processing waste, which goes as input materials into anaerobic digestion plants. So the big difference is that green waste is not a fraction which goes in anaerobic digestion plants, because the lignin-rich material do not degrade under anaerobic conditions. So as I mentioned before, we have on European level, we have a target to reach for recycling of 65% by 2035. Today, only 72% of bio-waste is recycled, of municipal bio-waste, which is an amount of 38 million tons per year, as you can see from the first column on the left side. But if we want to reach the 36% recycling target in 2035, we have to increase the recycling of bio-waste, and to reach 35% at the end, which is needed to reach the overall target, we have to collect and to treat in additionally 40 million tons of municipal waste. So this is shown in the graphic on the right side. Today, 38 million. In future, we have to treat 78 million tons of biowaste to reach the overall target of 65%. So we have a long way to go still to implement separate collection in Europe, and therefore we have set up on behalf of ECN also a guidance on separate collection. This guidance focused on setting indicators to evaluate the activeness of separate collection schemes for biowaste. So it is clear when you set up door-to-door collection systems, which are more efficient than having bring systems or road container systems, where citizens have to bring the waste to this road container. So you have you achieve much better results if you have a door-to-door collection system for bio-waste. But we also know that we still have as well a lot of bio-waste which is still left over in the residual waste, as we have seen from analysis of the Environmental Agency in Germany, where they found still after 30 years of separate collection of biowaste that we have still 39% of biowaste in the residual waste. So we do not only have to introduce separate collection in several member states, we also have to improve the separate collection systems in the different countries. And one reason is as well that we want to have good input material. And so we have also to be sure that the material is very clean and that there is no contamination in the input material. And this is also one of the main discussion which is ongoing in Europe, how to avoid any contamination in the input material. To give guidance for this, we have also set up an online map on our website with good practice examples on separate collection of biowaste across Europe. As I mentioned before, separate collection is a precondition for producing high quality compost, and quality assurance as such is also very important. Without quality assurance, it's difficult to find consumer confidence in our waste-derived products. And quality assurance does not only mean that we control the end product, we have to control as well what is going into the process, how the materials are treated, is the temperature and the time efficient to reduce pathogens in our materials. Then we have to prove the quality of the end product as well, but we have also to give information to the customers how to use our product. So how to use compost as a soil improver, or digestate as an organic fertilizer on arable land, or how to use it as a substitute for growing media as a substitute for peat in growing media. Several of our national organizations take part in our European Quality Assurance Scheme, and they have certified their products against our harmonized criteria, which were also taken up in the fertilizer regulation. So, and we can say that today 5.3 million tons of these composts which are produced in Europe fulfill these criteria to place the compost on the European market as a product. Coming to the nutrient, in average, 31 euro of euro per ton of compost are related to nutrients. In the next slide, I will also show you the main markets for compost and digestate, and we'll also elaborate a little bit more on the fertilizer value. So as you can see, compost is used in agriculture, but also for landscaping purposes and also for horticultural purposes. 50% of compost is used as soil improvement organic fertilizer in agriculture. But when we look to anaerobic digestion, anaerobic digestate is only used for agricultural purpose. 93% of digestate goes as organic fertilizer in the agricultural sector. Coming back to the fertilizer value, we have taken into account the average composition of nutrients in the different certified products from Austria, Belgium, and Germany and Italy. The value differ. This depends as well on the input material. In Belgium and in Germany, we are doing mainly separate collection of commingled garden waste and food waste. In Italy, we separate between food waste, so this is mainly food waste which is laid down here, and in Austria we have also a higher amount of food waste in the separate collection waste, and this is the reason why they have higher nutrient values. But important is here to show you last year in 2021, the fertilizer price, which we have calculated on the average price for mineral fertilizers, was 16 euro. And in January 22, it was still increased because of resource scarcity to 50 euro. And now with the war in Ukraine and with the dramatic energy crisis and the situation in Europe, the prices of mineral fertilizers went up, and the price for the fertilizer value increased as well for compost to 63%, and we expect that it will increase more. from my talks with our members with operators of composting and anaerobic digestion plants, there's at the moment a very high demand for compost and digestate by the farmers. So the demand is higher that we can produce at the moment. But not only this fertilizer value is important for us, important is as well the value of organic matter. And we know that we contribute, that we provide as well organic matter with our products. In 1 ton of compost, we sequester 30 kilograms soil organic matter, which is equivalent to 100 kilograms CO2. And we know as well that our soils, if they are lacking of organic matter, that they are less productive, that they can hold less water, and that they also store less carbon and nutrients. Therefore, the recycling of carbon and nutrients from biowaste by applying high-quality compost and digestates plays a key role in improving soils, keeping soils healthy and productive, and to contribute to climate change by saving primary resources and carbon sequestration. Okay, we have still key challenges. As I mentioned before, the situation is not as such that in every member state separate collection of biowaste is implemented so far. So we have still 1 year time to implement separate collection. And we also have requested the Commission to set up a further target, especially for separate collection or for the recycling of biowaste, so that there's more pressure by the member states and by the municipalities and cities to introduce separate collection. But what we are still missing, we do not have any recycling target for commercial or industrial biowaste. So when we are talking about the 65% recycling target, we are only talking about municipal waste, and only 10% of the overall waste which we produce in Europe is municipal waste. So there's a huge amount of industrial bio-waste on the market, which can be also transferred into compost or into digestate. I mentioned we have still problems with the implementation of the fertilizer regulation and also to fulfilling the requirements of the animal byproduct regulation. But we hope that this will be also solved in the next year, so that we can really place our products on the European market as CE products. Yeah, we have to see that also that carbon sequestration potential of compost and solid digestate be recognized, and that also the demand, or that it is also recognized that we can also provide compost and also solid digestate material of high quality for replacing peat in growing media. In addition, we hope that compost and digestate will be also included in the carbon farming scheme, so that we can also get carbon removal certificates for adding compost or solid digestate to soil, and that also mineral fertilizers will be more replaced with high quality recycled organic materials. We hope that also the Commission will recognize as well soil organic matter in the integrated nutrient management plan, which they are working at the moment. Okay, to underline the importance of soil organic matter, in 2019 we have set up this campaign or initiative, Save Organics in Soil, to raise awareness of the importance of soil organic matter and its role for sustainable and productive agriculture, and as well here to stress as well that recycling of our materials plays an important role to keep our soils healthy and productive. If you want to get more information what we are doing and what is the situation at the moment on our policy approaches on European level, we have also contributed with several position and info papers towards the Commission, and you can find all these Commission position papers on our website, like the position paper on soil health and fertility, or as well the guidance on separate collection for biowaste. So every information you can find on our website, Compost Network Info. You can also download our new data report. And if you haven't signed so far our campaign, Save Organics in Soil, please do so. Any signature is welcome. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I wish you a good conference. Goodbye.